Unveiling the secrets of ChatGPT, mastering the art of prompting. It's scary good. A mix of software and sorcery. It has the potential to revolutionize the way we interact with machines and make human-like conversations with AI. There's a certain feeling that happens when a new technology adjusts your thinking about computing. Google did it. Firefox did it. AWS did it. iPhone did it. OpenAI is doing it with ChatGPT. These are all quotes about ChatGPT from technologists like Elon Musk, New York Times reporters, Kevin Roose, Stanford AI professors, Fei-Fei Li, and the CEO of Box, Levie. Today, we unveil the extraordinary possibilities of generative AI and how to get the best out of it with prompting. ChatGPT is a revolutionary tool. Content creators, marketers, and anyone wanting to produce high-quality, engaging content at scale can use. They say, AI isn't going to replace your job, but someone using it will. Well, ChatGPT might prove that adage wrong. It's so revolutionary. In his New York Times article, The Brilliance and Weirdness of ChatGPT, Kevin Roose dubbed OpenAI's ChatGPT, quite simply, the best artificial intelligence chatbot ever released to the general public. Today, millions would agree. Within 2 months of its release, ChatGPT set the record for the fastest user growth in history, reaching 100 million active users in about a quarter of the time the next fastest app, TikTok, did. In February 2023, ChatGPT surpassed 1 billion monthly page visits, and many fans now speak of it in astonished and grandiose terms, as if it were some mix of software and sorcery, says Roose. What can ChatGPT do? The GPT in ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, a form of AI large language models or LLMs that let users ask natural language questions in human-like ways. The difference between ChatGPT and previous chatbot iterations is the human-level response it provides, which is highly detailed, well-written, and, in most cases, expertly researched. The way to get the most out of ChatGPT and any other generative AI tool, whether that is other text generation tools or text-to-image. Tools like DALL-E 2, Stable Diffusion, and Midjourney is with prompts, which are truly a mix of art and function. Done right, they can produce poetry both in text and visually. The world of prompts. A prompt is any phrase or set of keywords users input into a generative AI tool like ChatGPT, Midjourney, or DALL-E 2 to generate a response. All Midjourney image renderings start with the prompt /imagine. As you type in your request, the system's promise that there are endless possibilities is as good for Midjourney's results as it is for ChatGPT's. Getting the text prompt right is an art in itself, and it can produce astounding results that can set a user's imagination alight. While a simple prompt on Midjourney tells it to pull images from the web and then, according to the text instruction, build images accordingly, a ChatGPT prompt generates an answer from the system's existing knowledge base, which is a large collection of text data derived from books, articles, and web pages. OpenAI ChatGPT's creator used a dataset called the Common Crawl, which is one of the largest text datasets ever created, containing billions of publicly available web pages. When creating prompts, users should recognize clarity is key. Prompts should contain clear direction as well as include context for the request. Other guidelines to follow include: be as specific and detailed as possible. Be concise, focusing on the most important information of the query first, with additional direction following in order of importance. Action with a persona. For example, you could type prompts like, acting as a copywriter, generate a script for a 30-second commercial promoting our new product. Provide the audience that the prompt is for. For example, explain this as simply as if you were talking to a 5-year-old. Provide the goal of the prompt. Use natural language. Use proper grammar and sentence structure. Avoid yes and no questions. Think about tone and style. In some cases, you can tell ChatGPT how to export the answer. That is, I want it in a table or, in some cases, a graph. The overall goal with prompts is to provide ChatGPT or any other generative AI application with a clear and specific prompt that helps it generate a coherent and relevant response. Prompts can be as simple as helping an executive put together a budget, provide students with assistance to write a class paper, help marketers create a social media marketing plan, provide French to English translation to an interpreter, or check a writer's grammar. With careful prompting, ChatGPT can act as a persona. It can be asked to act as a trainer and help build a list of goals and challenges for a weight training program, including helpful advice on designing a high-calorie meal plan to put on muscle. It can act as a travel guide, helping with travel arrangements or providing suggestions on places to visit. It can act as a comedian, providing jokes about current events or even writing a routine based on certain topics. It could even act as a personal chef, suggesting healthy meals according to whatever ingredients the user might have in her kitchen. More complicated prompts include using ChatGPT as a SEO tool. It can generate multiple keyword options and test them to see which ones perform best. It can generate SEO-friendly meta descriptions, titles and headings, as well as generate backlinks to a website. Still one of the best ways to drive traffic to a website. As great as ChatGPT's prompting is, users should be aware that sometimes it just makes stuff up. Caution is warranted before anything produced by ChatGPT is shared widely. Hallucinations. One of ChatGPT's biggest flaws is it tends to hallucinate, that is, provide answers that have no basis in fact and might be completely made up. According to world-renowned futurist, influencer, and technology thought leader Bernard Marr, hallucination in AI refers to the generation of outputs that may sound plausible but are either factually incorrect or unrelated to the given context. These outputs often emerge from the AI model's inherent biases, lack of real-world understanding, or training data limitations. In other words, the AI system hallucinates information that it has not been explicitly trained on, leading to unreliable or misleading responses. Although most ChatGPT use cases are innocuous, one lawyer found himself in serious trouble when he used ChatGPT to write up a brief for a client's personal injury lawsuit against Avianca Airlines. ChatGPT cited 6 non-existent court decisions to back up the client's case, and the opposing counsel spotted the mistake and immediately brought it to the judge's attention. The plaintiff's lawyer faced a sanction briefing before a U.S. district judge because of the deception and might face a fine or disbarment. When using ChatGPT, users should understand that ChatGPT shouldn't completely be taken at face value, as sometimes it just makes stuff. Kevin Roose of the New York Times correctly dubbed ChatGPT as the best AI chatbot ever released. Although calling it a chatbot could be doing it a disservice, it's a powerful AI tool that has almost limitless use cases that are growing by the day. Prompts are truly the building blocks of ChatGPT, and there are plenty of prompt extensions available to help users get just the right answer they are looking for. Like most new technologies, ChatGPT's accuracy will improve over time. It has already passed some tough standardized tests, like the bar exam, LSAT, and several medical school entrance exams, so its success up until now has been quite impressive. However, its propensity to offer erroneous answers that look perfectly reasonable should be kept in mind when using it. ChatGPT should always be seen as just one in a series of research tools. However, used correctly, it is certainly one of the most powerful tools out there. Edward Steichen, the man who revolutionized photography while turning it into a respectable art form, once said, "A portrait is not made in the camera, but on either side of it." This is a great way to think about generative AI. A creator sets everything in motion, whether that is with the best possible ChatGPT text prompt or the most appropriate text and image Mid-Journey prompt. Then the system will use AI to create a ChatGPT or Mid-Journey response that best represents what the user requested. Some people call this a mix of software and sorcery, says Roose, but in reality, it's just showing us how far AI has come. Unquestionably, generative AI still needs work, but LLMs are constantly evolving and improving upon themselves, so we haven't seen the best of them yet. The writer Dean Koontz once said, "In an infinite universe, anything that could be imagined might somewhere exist." He might be right. The generative AI tools grabbing all the world's attention these days can help users create all kinds of helpful and impressive content, whether that is in text or visual form. Just visit ChatGPT, Mid-Journey, or one of the other generative AI tools available. Open up your mind and set your creativity alight, then prompt and imagine away. How do you think generative AI will impact your job, business, or your life at different levels? Do you see it as a game changer, or do you have concerns? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Let's step into the future of generative AI together.